Introduction. It was 1919, and the man known as Leon Trotsky was on a train, about to arrive at its destination. It was not only a physical destination that he was racing toward, but also an ideological one. He sat in barely constrained anticipation as his train car tore a path through the Ukraine toward his ultimate goal, the goal he had been striving for most of his life, post-revolutionary Russia. The Tsar had already been overthrown, but yet the war still raged between the so-called white armies that still claimed to support the deposed leader and the Red Army of the Communist Soviets. By the time of Trotsky's arrival on the scene, the tide had turned dramatically in favor of the Soviets, and the defeat of their white army opposition was all but assured. The enigmatic socialist thinker, as he stared absent-mindedly out his window, tightly clutched the railing of his seat, and was not all that concerned with Russia's impending recent victory, however. He was more interested in what should be done next. Trotsky's mind was always one step ahead of his peers. Unlike the men who would supplant him, such as Lenin and Stalin, he did not subscribe to the notion that the Soviets should take a moment to catch their breath and consolidate their hold on power. Trotsky believed that they needed to seize the moment and advance toward what he considered the ultimate goal of Marxism, worldwide revolution. In his philosophical meanderings, he insisted on nothing short of a global revolution that would free the entire planet from the evils of capitalism. He envisioned that this revolution would bring forth a universal communist society, free of borders, class structures, and elitists, whether they be czars, kings, dictators, or presidents. For Trotsky, all of the above-mentioned distinctions were just another name for the greedy landlords who wanted to unnaturally create class distinctions, national boundaries, and other artificial walls of separation between a humanity that should be united as one. He mused all these thoughts as his train pulled into the station, and he had his assistant, who was seated nearby, write down his words. He quietly dictated, "A cavalry corps of 30,000 to 40,000 horsemen must be formed to invade India. The path to Paris and London lies through the cities of Afghanistan, the Punjab, and Bengal. Our victories in the Urals and Siberia must greatly raise the prestige of the Soviet Republic throughout oppressed Asia." That day on the train, Trotsky was speaking of, among other things, an invasion of Afghanistan. He firmly believed that if he could gather some of the more downtrodden and oppressed nations of the East under the banner of Soviet communism, he would be able to build a power base that would be unbreakable by the West. And in doing so, he would have added millions of grateful and fanatic believers to the cause, fighting for the future liberation of Europe from the industrialists that Trotsky believed to be holding them down. And inevitably, after the fall of Europe, the United States and the rest of the world would follow. As Trotsky's train came to a stop at its station, and his own train of thought came to a close, he was thinking of outright world domination.